talking mental toughness, and it's not about being physical. It's about being mental. Everyone says it. It's been said forever. I mean, back to the Roman era, they were talking about how mentality plays a huge role in sports. This fall season, we're talking mental toughness. Here's some tips. Here's some things to talk about. Number one, having a mantra. What's yours?
Got a couple different ones, I guess. I think I have different mantras depending on the situation. So like I say, warming up and getting ready for getting my mind into the competition. I have like couple different Bible verses. I can't remember the exact verse. 1 Corinthians 12:13, 12:16 maybe. I can't remember. But it's whether you eat or drink, do it in the name of the Lord. And it kind of reminds me like if I'm doing something, I'm doing it in the glory of God. So I'm thinking, if I'm about to go out there and wrestle, I'm not going out there to wrestle for myself. I'm going out there to wrestle in front of the stage of God and represent what he's put me on the earth to do, or what, if I was doing something in front of the president or in front of some really important person, I would do the best work I possibly can. So it's the same thing. It's like, if I'm doing this for God, I want to put my best foot forward. If I was doing anything, eating or drinking, doesn't matter what I'm doing, make sure I'm doing it the best I possibly can. And so that's one I like to think about when I'm getting ready for my mindset in my match. Then there's some times where you're digging deep and you're like, you're down by a few points or something, or you're losing, or you're slipping back in your race. And when I'm there and I'm starting to like trying to look to the side, look for a way out, I tend to kind of shorten my goalpost and try to be like, okay, let me just get to this point. If it's wrestling, I'm like, okay, let me try to get an escape, get a takedown. Let me try to get some points on the board, and then I can move from there. I'm not trying to put everything in perspective and think about everything I need to do. I just shorten it up and make a checklist. If I can get all these things done, then I'll win my match. I'll compete the best I can. And so for me, it's shortening to just little checkpoints. Let me check something off and then move on to the next one. So what about you?
By the time it took me a long time to get mentally tough. In high school, I was not. It was not for me. I just didn't have it in me. And by the time I got to college, I got better. The thing that came to me that worked best for me was it's worth it. Meaning the struggle you're going to go through, whatever pain that is, or difficulty or challenge, whether it's like a wrestling match or it's a soccer game or it's running, and you got to go through the hardest part of whatever it is to get through the end. It's going to be worth it. Like, don't give up. Stop giving up.
Yeah.
Stop giving in. When you're out to compete, you better compete. That was the second thing that kind of came to me. Like, I'm here to compete. If similar to your first line, like if I've got the opportunity to do this and other people don't,
right,
I better not waste that opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm here to compete. I don't want to take my races as workouts. I don't want to take my races as easy days just because I've got many that week. I don't want to take this game easy just because the other team is not good. You know what I mean? You go out to compete, and you go out to win. And so that was probably the second one for me. So first is like, it's worth it. At the end of the day, that hard practice, that hard workout, for soccer, I played soccer in high school, like getting through the hardest workout or really focusing on the drill or that skill we were working on. If I can really focus right now, that'll make me better, and it'll be worth it, because when we win, it'll be really rewarding. So that was the first one, and the second one being get competitive.
Yeah.
Be competitive. There's a lack of that in certain sports. Running cross country and track, you get all sorts, and so sometimes that mentality doesn't come across as strong as in other sports like lacrosse or football or something like that, even wrestling. So even though I kind of like in cross country and wrestling kind of similarly, they work on different principles like endurance and being able to tolerate things for a long period of time. That mentality can wear you down differently, but those are my two.
Yeah, I think like while you're talking especially, you can almost put the two mantras you had I had in two different categories of like appreciation for the moment, and then like you're running on fumes kind of motivation. So like a lot of people, I thought about yours, like it'll be worth it. A lot of people have that mindset of like, I'm not going to be able to do this forever. And
Is that falling down?
I think so. Not sure why. There we go. Oh, I got it. You're good. But a lot of people have that mindset of like, at 80 years old, I'm not going to be able to do this. So like, let me appreciate it while I'm doing it, or just being grateful for the opportunity. And however you need to word it in your brain to make it click. It clicks differently for everybody, but I think there is like a general theme of finding some sort of gratitude or appreciation for the moment you're in. And then like you said, the second quote of like, it'll be worth it, or, let me just get to this next thing. It's like, you're struggling in this one moment, and what's my way out? It's like, okay, it'll be worth it. Okay. Like, that's my motivation for this very second. Or for me, it's like, okay, let me just get this thing done.
Mm-hmm.
It's that short-term momentary thing where I'm just trying to get out of the little bit of mindset that I'm in.
Yeah. Like, you might just scrape by, right? Like, if getting by is 55% in that moment, whether it's a skill you're doing or it's you're wrestling and it's it's, I don't know what you would call it, like a not a move, but like what?
Oh yeah, just a position.
Like a position you're trying to be in, and you're barely scraping by in that position. Like, that's still a win, and then you need to move on to the next one, right? Like in running, it's an easy analogy here because like in indoor outdoor track, you're doing laps with whatever event you're doing. You can see that timer, so it's easy to just be like, oh, I didn't run fast on that lap, and now I'm going to get behind in the next one because, oh, I did bad. I'm going to continue to do bad. You have to work as hard as you possibly can in that moment. Even if you barely scrape by, that time barely clicks with what your goal was. Perfect. Move on to the next one. Don't linger on it. Even if you scrape by a win, 55%, that's a win. Keep going. You stack those up over time. You have a great race. You have a great match, or your team has a great game.
Yeah.
So.
And I think there's something to be said about believing that it's possible as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people that get in their heads and they think that's never going to happen. And I think especially in wrestling, I know probably in races, like you can see those comebacks from other people, that you can see that those things are possible. And I think that's another thing I think about too. Like, if I'm down 6 or 7 points and I'm like, this is going to be difficult to come back from, I don't know if I can come back from this. Sometimes I will think back on like a match I've watched from somebody else that they were able to crawl out of that hole, or even a deeper hole. And I think there's similar moments in track and cross country where you see somebody that kind of dug themselves out of a hole, and to be able to believe that like that is possible for you as well is also like huge, I think.
That's confidence.
That's
confidence. And confidence comes from experience, which comes from successfully overcoming a challenging situation. And so the more experience you have under your belt, that's why those experienced athletes and players do really well. That's the difference, I think, because they believe they can do it because they've been there before. The new kids are, even if they're talented, a little unsure what that finish line looks like. But they may be too worried about it. Where the experienced guys know, now we're going to focus on this, get through this, get through this, get through this, get through this, and bam, I'm right where I usually am and where I need to be. And team skills work the same way. Whether it's a play you're making in soccer and your team, you're barely scraping by on ball possession here, and then you move to the next set and the next and the next, and then overtime that works. I mean. Hockey's the same way when it comes to plays and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think that's what it's a similar train of thought. The underdog who believes they can do it, and the guy who's on top, who's been on top, who says, we've been here, we've done this, we're going to continue being good. But it's that same mindset of they can believe that that's the goal, and that's what they're going to make it.
I think, like you said, like that evidence of doing it before. Like there was a quote, Alex Ramosi. He's like, confidence isn't shouting affirmations in the mirror. Like you can have these mantras, but if you don't believe them, they're not that potent. Confidence isn't you shouting affirmations in the mirror. It's a stack of undeniable proofs that you are who you say you are, right? And if you can find, and that's another thing that I get excited for when I'm in those situations where I'm having to dig deep. It's like, oh, if I can make it out of this would be huge for my mental toughness, my mental success of being like, oh, this could actually like be a cool story for me and could build me further as an athlete, knowing I could get out of this.
Absolutely. You can see that moment where that's going to separate you from where you are and where you want to be. So, absolutely. That's our advice. Think about it. Being physically tough is important. Being mentally tough is important too. Take some action. Pick something we talked about. Pick a mantra. Pick something that sticks with you, that can get you through the season, and use it. Let us know.
Yeah. I think one more thing, actually, I'll add. Sometimes overtraining can come from not being as mentally there. You get deep in the season, if your mental edge is waning, those longer practices are going to wear you down 10 times harder than they would normally if you were in good spirits. So not only for race day, but also for the longevity of you in your sport, loving your sport, enjoying your sport, being in check with, your mental weaknesses and where your limiting factors are is huge to just enjoy the sport that you're in aside from the success. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Perfect.